Good morning, everyone. I have Arthur with me. We are going to use our clippers, the Wall Professionals. They're Bravera, and they look like this. I'll put a link in the comment section about the clippers. So Arthur has been living inside. That means he doesn't have as much of a breeze going through his wool, and I don't use a blower on any of the rabbits anymore. I try to use housing that provides enough natural airflow that the rabbits are really, they don't need the blowing. I try also to take care of them, their housing conditions, their food conditions, their water conditions, really keeping the rabbits in great physical health, helps keep their wool in great physical health, and then helps reduce the need for a blower. Now also it's the selection, breeding selection with the rabbits and selecting for rabbits that really don't need the blower. So I'm just going through right now and I'm just looking at Arthur's ears. Arthur, he usually has matting behind his ears. This is pretty typical of rabbits. Arthur has matting behind his ears. Typically when I am going through and thinking about shearing rabbits, I'm shearing through their coat using scissors. I don't typically use clippers, but if I were to use clippers, these are the clippers that I do use now. They're cordless, they're quiet. They are heavier than I would prefer. However, there's just not much of options out there for what I'm looking for. So we have Arthur's ears that we're gonna focus on, and a little bit of the sides here. Really mainly we're just gonna show you how we use the clippers with the ears. You can see he does have a bit of matting and everything going on part of his ear. One ear is usually better than the other. So we're going to turn on our clippers. Arthur hasn't been shorn with clippers in quite a while. The battery on these clippers, it's missing one bar. I haven't shorn them. So I just start at the top, and I don't use giant strokes with my clippers. So this is all wool from between his ears. That's good wool. There's some matted wool mixed in there, matted wool. I can set off to the side. So again, Arthur's inside, he's not outdoors. When you think about shearing your rabbit, taking the wool off your rabbit, you want to pay attention always to the potential of what is commonly referred to as shear shock. So the rabbit changing, the temperature of the rabbit changing quickly because it's lost its wool due to shearing. So I just am lightly going through Arthur's ears here. I'm holding his ears and I'm shearing up. You can also shear down. Either or is fine. I kind of use my fingers as a little guide. So this ear, we took much of the wool off the top, just clean it up a little bit. Rabbits lose their heat in their body through their ears. That's how they cool themselves. So rabbit's ears, if you touch your rabbit's ears and they're very hot, you know that the rabbit is warm. I'm just being very picky now with how I'm getting the wool off these ears. But we'll start again. Did a big sweep. Another big sweep. These are pretty fast clippers once you get used to them. Everything takes time to get used to. You may start out with clippers and it may take you longer to shear your rabbit with clippers than it did with scissors. That was common for me. because I preferred scissors and had the most effort with, most experience with scissors. So in all things, that made me jump. In all things, that's just, you know, what you spend time with in life matters. So we'll use a slight downward stroke here, just ever so slight. I don't want to nick the ear. That is possible with these. There's a little bit of matting there. Clippers don't like that. They can go through it. A little bit of matting, but a lot of matting clippers can struggle with. All right, so that's pretty much the ears themselves. A little bit of matting right here. Again, you know, the skin is tender behind the ears there. In the neck area, this is not thick skin on a rabbit. So being cautious, being careful is important. So that's a little matte. He's not matted down to the skin because of the way his wool grows and because of the care that he receives. This isn't, these aren't terrible mats that require using special tools to get rid of. Again, there's a lot of folds of skin under here. You may find a doe has even more folds of skin than your buck because they have what's called a dewlap. Some bucks have bigger dewlaps, bigger under their chin area, bigger folds of skin. Some does have bigger folds of skin than others. It all varies. So I'm pushing the wool back, keeping the skin more taut, more tight, because I want it smoothed out. I don't want to nick Arthur. That doesn't provide a good experience for anyone. If he receives a cut, that doesn't make me feel good, that doesn't make him feel good, that doesn't make shearing a good process. So we're just cautious and taking our time, and that's just fine. So we're down the cheeks, and I want to be careful by his cheeks because I really don't want his lovely whiskers shorn off here. And he has his eyes here. We want to be careful with his eyes. So if you ever notice when you're shearing your rabbit and you're on the cheek area, you know, the wool grows in the whiskers. And that is very normal. There's wool around the whiskers. Some rabbits have more wool than others. Some breeds have more wool in that area than others. That's very, you know, it just depends on the rabbit you have. And you can shear this in all sorts of ways. But I just really like trying to be cautious of Arthur's whiskers. And any rabbit's whiskers, not just Arthur. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna just space out these ears a little bit. We're gonna press them just ever so gently down. There's just so many folds of skin here, and I really have to be cautious with these clippers, the blades. I don't want him experiencing any negativity. And Arthur is extremely used to shearing. This is not a first time shearing. Arthur has had years of being shorn. He knows what to expect over and over. That I'm not going to be hurting him. It's just something that he sits through and I sit through together. He feels wonderful after getting shorn. And you ask, well, how can you tell your rabbit feels wonderful? How do you know this? Well, because of his behavior. His behavior changes. There's a lot more energetic hops, a lot more excitement, a lot more visible changes in Arthur. His activity level increases. There's more binkies, for example. There's more zoomies running around back and forth. And Arthur doesn't do many of those anymore. He isn't he isn't a young rabbit. He's not, you know, as your rabbits get older, they, just like people, they don't necessarily play as much. They still play, but not like a small, young, immature rabbit that is running around really going goofy about things. And to be honest with you, it's fun to watch those young rabbits do that. And you can't see what I'm doing with the camera right now. But it's fun to watch those young rabbits do that, but there is nothing compared to having years and years with a rabbit and having a bond with your rabbit. It's really a wonderful thing. So we're by the whiskers on this side again, just really trying to avoid cutting those whiskers. We don't want to cut Arthur's whiskers off. They're beautiful. He should keep them. All right, let's turn these clippers off. So that's behind the ears. You can tell he's got a little bit of vegetable matter, a little bit of hay in there. That's okay. That's nothing that's terrible. We have nice, clean by the ears. Arthur is actually, you can't hear it, but he's actually purring, rabbit purring. So his teeth are chattering away, which is a rabbit purr. He's a very, very happy rabbit. He loves this. And you can tell when we're doing the shearing, you know, we're not rushing. We're not taking this. This is not a race. This is to be enjoyed with your rabbit. So that's what we have for the clipping. That's what we have again for clipping the back ears, the back of the neck, and a little bit down the sides. And that's how we do it with our clippers. And that's the rooster. So thank you guys for watching. If you want more clipping videos with these battery-powered clippers, we do have a few more videos available. Well, we will do another video, a little bit more of clipping Arthur with these, but that's a members-only video. Click on the link, the join link, and you can join and get access to those videos. Thank you for watching.